afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. You have Alyssa Corm here. I am joined by Justin Nielsen, and on today's show, we're going to look at the major indexes. Relatively quiet day by the close, at least for the NASDAQ, but we're also going to take a look underneath the surface. There was some pretty interesting action, Justin.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and take a look at RingCentral today, which was kind of bucking the trend on a weakness on a lot of the software names. Also an outside day for Pinduoduo. And finally, Nvidia trying to make a comeback to kind of participate along with the semiconductors.
Yeah, that's right. Well, first, a look at the NASDAQ here, closing roughly flat for the day after gapping down early in the morning. We have the S&P 500 up 0.2% for the session, and also the Dow up 0.2% for the day. So we have a nice tight close here. It looks like we've kind of seen this little bit of a pattern repeating, opening lower
Right,
and then
exactly.
closing
Yeah.
roughly flat.
Well, and I think what it really speaks to is the resilience that the Nasdaq Composite is showing right now. There's a lot of indicators that we're kind of getting a little bit over bullish. The bulls bears. Ken mentioned that again today on IBD Live. That's getting to excessive levels. We're quite far above our 50-day moving average line for the Nasdaq Composite. There's a lot of things that kind of speak to an extended market, but when you kind of look at it, again, the index just doesn't want to go down, and it got support, just a couple days ago, as you mentioned, came right back, closed near its highs. Same thing happened today. So as long as this keeps continuing, it's a market that's trying to still make progress going forward and not giving much ground to the downside. Now, as you mentioned, under the surface, there is some action going on with some of the software stocks coming in a little bit, and that can be tricky. And it's also why we try not to buy extended stocks. And so you just have to kind of know the personality of the stocks that you're getting into and where you're getting into in their moves.
That's right. Well, speaking of the personality of a stock, I think RingCentral provides a good example of what you kind of want to be looking for. We did see a really strong move today for this name in the enterprise software group, up about 7.6%, a pretty decent volume as well. But even with the strong gains as of late, really an exclamation point today, it's been a pretty choppy stock this year.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things to just kind of keep in mind is that this did have news. They kind of announced a partnership with Vodafone, but go ahead and take a look at the weekly chart on this, and you kind of get a sense of that personality. After a very strong move in 2018 to 2019, the whole action lately has been a lot more choppy, a lot more difficult to handle. And so it kind of can hug the 10-week moving average line for quite a bit, and just kind of doodle around there. So just keep in mind, this could be, after a long consolidation, this could be something, this could be a change that kind of acts as a catalyst, but know going into it what your personality has been lately, because that's always important to kind of have your expectations set appropriately.
That's right. So a really nice move this week after some tight closes. So we'll have to see where RingCentral can head from here. But elsewhere in tech, we want to check in on PDD, Pinduoduo out of China, seeing a nice upside reversal today, up about 5.5%. Justin, draw a little bit of a downward sloping trend line. It probably could have been a little bit tighter, but what do you make of this nice reversal off of the 21 day?
Well, and yeah, first of all, people get the idea with your line. So, sometimes just getting the idea across is better than
Yeah.
perfection. But yeah, big outside day. So outside day, let's just review what that is real quick.
Mhm.
The high is higher than the previous high, the previous day's high, and the low is lower than the previous day's low. So what does it mean? Well, by itself, it really just depends on where the stock closes. In this case, it closed near its peak, and that usually suggests the direction is going up. And so the fact that you kind of have this trend, this downtrend that is kind of breaking up, getting to the top of that, and it has this outside day, that does suggest that this might have some room to go. This is already on leaderboard. We've got a nice gain on leaderboard. We added it to Swing Trader today as well at the end of the day because of this close. We did a half position because this can be a volatile stock, so there's a little bit higher risk to where we would set our stop, maybe around like 134. On the intraday chart, you can kind of see some support in that area. But it's something that has proven in the past. It's been able to make strong moves, and this is one that has at times buck the trend of weakness in China. Sometimes that happens. PDD can sometimes buck that trend, and it's worth watching.
Yeah, and a really nice swing trade setup today. We'll see where it goes from there. But swing trader subscribers will definitely stay up to date whenever you take some profits, maybe in thirds. We'll get into more of that in today's scorecard. But let's flip on over to Nvidia, NVDA. It has been a little quiet lately. This was
Yeah.
also added to swing trader today, though, as it perked up a bit, closing up about 1.1% for the day. What do you make of the chart here?
Well, and there's been a lot of strength in the semiconductors. A lot of stocks in that space. I mean, whether it's the 5G plays with Cuervo and Qualcomm, or just your old rivalries of Nvidia and AMD. So there's been a lot of strength there, and so we already have AMD on swing trader. So we added Nvidia because it looks like this was kind of trading above that downtrend that it had. Now we did have that very rough action that you're pointing at right there, and so that is a cause for concern. Is that going to act as resistance? So we'll be watching this one closely. But Nvidia has proven time and time again that it's a very dynamic, innovative company, and
Yes.
it's got the great numbers. Composite rating of 99, very strong earnings and sales growth, and so with those. A lot of times if it gives you a chance to get into it, which as it was hugging this 50-day moving average line and kind of popping above there again, this could be nice for a short-term move at least.
Good point. I mean, we're in a different market right now than we were in this spring, but
Absolutely.
once Nvidia and some of these other stocks took off, they really never looked back for
Mhm.
quite a while and didn't even come all the way down to their 50 days. So,
But set your expectations. This isn't
yeah,
this isn't April. We're
different
not
market.
coming
Yeah.
after that. Yeah. So a lot of these stocks are getting a little bit more tired, but you can still get some pretty nice moves even late in the game.
Good point. All right. Well, Justin and myself, as well as Chris, our Chief Content Officer, will be on the Swing Trader Scorecard webinar coming up in about 15 minutes or so.
Right.
So we'll see you very shortly, and we'll talk about these trades and more over the last month in detail. So make sure you head to swingtrader.investors.com to join that webinar. We look forward to seeing you there. And we'll see you back here for another stock market today tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.